All right. We are live on YouTube. And as usual, we are going to operate under Governor Lamont's Executive Order 7B. I'd like to call this meeting of the Charter Revision Commission to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America,
and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I hope everyone's been enjoying the last 72 hours of gorgeous weather. It's been absolutely perfect outside. So tonight, though, hopefully a relatively short meeting. 4 things to talk about, but they're all going to be quick. First is wanted to spin through the charter one more time. We had some unanswered questions that I think we have answers for now. So we can talk about that and any other changes that anybody else had to the charter. Then secondly, I know that Darlissa and Ruth Ann have gone through and have proofread some of it. They sent me a version. So wanted them to kind of talk through anything that they thought was substantive, right? Like minor corrections, I don't think we have to talk through, but anything substantive that they think that should be changed, I wanted to talk through. Then third is talk about our public hearings and have proposed rules for them that I'll show you. And then fourth, just kind of lay out the path for after the public hearings, what's going to happen. Does that all sound good, or do you guys have anything else?
Sounds good.
Sounds good, yeah.
I mean,
So let's start off with our old friend, the charter. So let's just walk through where any questions were. This is my version, and Darlissa and Ruth Ann, then we'll go through your version. So first question is, this was from last time, was the question of inserting the phrase home rule here as extra emphasis that the charter should take precedent when state issues aren't involved. You know, it's speaking with Corporation Counsel, who is all set to review this after tonight. He said it's not going to make a difference. He said you can put it in there if you want, right? You put, it's a preamble, you can kind of put whatever you want in there, but it's really not going to strengthen any defense we have of home rule. So kind of 6 of one, half dozen another, if you guys want to include something in there about home rule.
doesn't make a difference to me.
I think that there's enough in the other sections that support that concept.
Okay.
So,
Well, so we'll take this one out then.
okay.
Okay, going down. Yeah, so there was a question of what do the, if not otherwise provided, the registrar of voters shall publish a notice of the election. And so the question was, what does Connecticut state statutes actually require? What they actually require is not the 7 days, not a newspaper. They actually require something to go in the mail. So you guys all remember, you get that card in the mail that says there's an election on November 3rd or whatever. That's what's required by state statute.
Okay.
So just so we know. A question from Ruth Ann that I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to find an answer to this is, what's the difference between a board and a commission and a committee? And so I actually did a little research into this. Now, this is not by statute. This is by convention. Right? So just by convention, typically a committee is a temporary group that exists below a board or commission that's established to do a very particular thing. A board or commission, technically, although it's just evolved over time, like the reality is there's no difference between them. Originally, a board was supposed to oversee and manage something, whereas a commission was supposed to do something, right? But then we've kind of lost, so like a board of education is managing education. Planning and zoning commission is processing things, right? Processing applications, stuff like that. But like literally everything I read was like, yeah, and everybody uses them interchangeably now. So,
Okay.
So that's the origin of it, but I don't think there's nothing legal about whether we have to call things boards or commissions.
Okay, so fine by me.
That interesting question though. I was like, oh, did a little research into it. Other appointments so the reason why we want to keep this sentence, the reason we want to keep this sentence in is because of the fire, right? So fire is the only exception, but because it is an exception, I think we do want to keep the sentence in there, right? It says based on the mayor has the power to appoint, remove everybody in the classified service except where the charter says otherwise, which is fire. So if everyone's okay with that, let's keep going down. Board of Aldermen. Oops, sorry, I went too far.
Dan, before you go past the table, can you go back to the table?
Yep.
Okay, because Ruth Ann and I were talking, and where it says Board of Commission 8, maximum from one party, that would affect the Board of Aldermen.
I saw your note. It actually wouldn't, because if you read the text, it says for all elected and appointed boards and commissions in Chapter 5. So what this table doesn't impact is the Board of Aldermen, which is Chapter 4,
Okay.
or things like the Board of Fire Commission, which is Chapter 8, or excuse me, Chapter 6. Yeah, either way, it's not Chapter 5, right? So literally
Okay.
the minority representation only applies to Board of Ed, Library Board, Planning and Zoning, and then the appointed boards, Parks and Rec, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay,
Okay.
So would not appeal to anything outside of Chapter 5. Now, Chapter 6, so this is one where I had asked Jack to submit something in writing and he just didn't get it over to me. So this was the question of, hey, does the administrative assistant, or now the chief of staff, actually need this power? And if he doesn't need this power, do we need to mention the position at all in charter? And Jack's response was, the mayor delegates his powers to Jack on a regular basis for things like attending a labor board hearing or other places where the chief administrator or the chief elected official is required to attend. And so he's like, this is actually good for flexibility to allow him to attend things that the mayor otherwise would be required to attend, but he can represent the mayor because of this clause. So I asked him to put that and other examples in writing. He hasn't gotten that over to me yet. I don't know what Don, what do you think? This is the one that that you were questioning.
It's not that big a deal. I mean, I don't understand it, and I didn't understand that explanation as well. But it doesn't make any sense.
And you know what I'll do is I'm just gonna still ask him to submit something in writing, right? Because it's worthwhile to get a good understanding of what that is. I agree. It's not. I don't think it's a big deal one way or the other.
You should probably talk to the mayor.
Yeah, and that's the person who as we go into the public hearing portion of this, I'm gonna want to talk to the mayor again about all this. I haven't talked to him about anything that we've done yet, so to get his opinion on a bunch of this stuff. So we'll ask him about this one as well.
Yeah, I'm all right either way. So don't get hung up with.
Cool. No, but it's worth getting an answer on.
Yeah.
And then I think there's only one more question coming down here. Yep. So basically we changed the dates down here and we wanted to check with the mayor. As I said, I haven't gotten a chance to talk to the mayor, but I did talk to John Anglace, who said he thought this was fine. He said, yep, that all the timing should still work. You're getting rid of A&T. It's logical. You can get rid of that month. So he was fine with it. I'll ask the mayor as well when I talk to him, but John was fine with that change. And then that's it, gang. Those are the questions that we had remaining. So before we flip over to Darlissa and Ruth Ann's version for edits, anything else that people saw, like reading this, thinking about it, anything else before we get this ready for public hearing?
Well, I think as we go through it, we might have some questions, but I didn't specify them out. I have them in the margins on my paper, so I guess as we go through it, they might arise.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's walk through then Ruth Ann and Darlissa's version. And you guys have made all your changes in green and blue, right?
Mhm.
All right.
Darlissa did all that. I can't
Well,
take
there's-
credit.
Well,
We did it together over the phone, but. since she
we did
the-
over 6 hours of proofreading together. We worked very hard on this together.
Wow. Well, thank you both for that. That sounds entertaining.
I don't know,
Very.
but I'm not the greatest typist, so I don't know.
Well, I do have a question.
Shoot.
You know, on the, like the paper, the paper version charter that we're working off of, the original, the one from 2012. It has like, at the very first page says chapter 1, and it gives you all the sections and the name. Do we have to make changes to that? Because they're not printed out in our paperwork that we,
Just for, like, blowing the chapters out into the sections, like in the paper?
Yes. I mean, we've done each chapter individually, but it gives out like a sort of a synopsis at the very beginning before what each chapter, what sections, and what each section is before it actually goes into the individual chapters. I mean, since those numbers are all going to be changed, and if we're doing what, so do we have to make those corrections, or will that?
Yes,
That
I
automatically
usually
We
do
do.
that before I bring it to print.
Oh, thank you,
Okay.
Sophia. Yeah.
So you're gonna do it. Okay. I mean,
So-
it wouldn't be that hard to do, but we did not do it. So I just wanted,
Right, because
just want to know what we had to do.
Cool.
when the town clerk's office prints this, it prints it on newspaper.
Right.
Right.
So the question, it won't get printed until whatever question the Board of Aldermen want to be on the ballot. That's when I print this.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. But I'm talking below the question, like it says chapter 1,
Linda.
corporation powers,
Right,
boom, boom, boom.
I
But
do that whenever it's all cleared up and the
Oh.
strike copy's done deal, and whatever gets voted on, that's what gets incorporated.
oh, so that's when you do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Not till after the fact. All right.
Okay,
That's
Ruth
all.
Ann, on the first,
That answers that question. Okay.
okay, on the first page, Ruth Ann and I said, there was a question about, voted on November 3rd. Why are we waiting until December 1st to put into effect? So I think we need those dates probably come to some kind of, I don't know if it's a legal question. Aren't 2 weeks enough after it goes through the referendum?
It's what we did in 2012, right? Like, we can set the effective date to be whatever we think it should be. But I think in 2012, they set it as a December 1st effective date, and it worked fine as far as I know. But if folks said that it needs more time because of X, Y, and Z, set it for January 1st, we could do that as well.
Well, I vote to leave you in charge of that date.
I will ask, when I talk to the mayor, I'll ask him if there was any transition issues last time. I don't think there were, but I will ask him.
Okay,
Right. Whatever he might specify would be fine.
Yes. All right, let's keep going down then. Looking for green or blue. Yep, so here's the one. So a mayor elected to serve. Basically adding in the word elected, probably need to add that in for the Board of Aldermen as well.
Where are you at?
Up in B, I'm just looking I see what you guys did here in section 241. You've added in the word elected for the mayor, and the Board of Aldermen already has it. Education has it.
Yes, I mean, we thought all those wordings should be exactly the same for each of those A, B, C, D, whatever.
Yep, good. Like, I was go quickly through the minor ones. If anybody has any objection, let me know, but these all make sense to me.
Hey, Dan,
Yes, sir.
my screen's frozen. I mean,
Yeah,
Are-
so
Are you scrolling through that, Dan?
I am, and it's not
No,
showing.
everything's
Mine
frozen.
All right, let me
It's
still
not
on the
moving
first
our
page.
screen. Yeah,
All right, let me try to share again. My computer's not liking me today.
I think we've all had that experience. It's going through.
Oops. Share. All right, can you guys see it now?
Oh, yes, yes.
Sorry, so let me go back then. So basically it said that we're in 241, and basically Darlissa and Ruth Ann added in the word elected, right? Just to reemphasize that these positions are elected. Put in the numbers here, right, which is good.
Where needed, yes.
Right, yeah, all makes sense.
And then on, in section D, we added thereafter, there should be elected staggered terms. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, to follow along with the other one where there were staggered terms.
Perfect. I like that grammar better.
Mhm.
Good.
Okay.
Scrolling through, looking for blue.
I'm sorry, Sophia, about the spacing.
That's all right, because I'll fix that when it's ready, because,
Okay. I tried, but
no,
every
that's
time I
okay.
did it, it kicked back. It's like, okay, let's get the meat done and we'll worry about that later.
Exactly, right.
I think 433, I think there's something.
Oh, good. Thank you. 433.
I-
Let's see.
Maybe, oh, one, up the first sentence, I think one subject, we need, wait a minute. Do we need to put a number one after one subject? Under procedure?
Sure, let's do that.
I mean, just because every time we reference a number, we put a numerical one there.
Yep.
Right.
Blue. So I know.
And Sophia, will you do the proper periods and so forth and so on? I mean, sometimes we couldn't tell. We didn't know if it was, the printing wasn't good and it didn't show up, or if it was a comma or a period. So do we need to do that?
Once it's, Dan, it's up to you if you want me to. I guess my question is for the public hearing, how do you want to do it? Do you want to do it with strike throughs or you want to do a clean version?
For the public hearing, I plan on giving Dan both a clean version and a strike through to put on the website. So if people want to read the clean version, they can. If people want the strike through, they
Okay.
can. But I think we are going to need, just a proofreading of the final version, right? For things like periods and stuff like that. That's not the strike through, right? The strike through can get confusing. So we'll do that at the very end. We'll do the final proofread, not on the strike through, but on the formal document.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
Four 4.5 should have something, no?
4.5. I know
Uh,
it's blue.
Oh, okay, no, one said 30 and one said 90, within 90, well, was the 90 wasn't, oh, there it is, okay, my mistake. And then we wanted to know if, I wrote a question here on the wording, within 90 days after taking office, the board shall approve or reject all appointment nominations or all appointed nominations. Is that, I didn't know, we didn't know if the wording was that to be appointed or
Yep.
appointment.
I think you're right, appointed.
Okay, and from the mayor required of it, we need of it as well too. I didn't know if that was a proper grammar.
Let's see. Within 90 days after taking office, the board shall approve or reject all appointed nominations from the mayor required of it being the board. Yeah.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
okay, of the board,
Yeah, but
okay.
No, but we don't need, it's redundant. Use less words, right?
Right.
Yeah.
30 days after taking office, the board shall approve or reject all appointed nominations from the mayor under Chapter 5 of this charter. That works.
Okay.
Good.
Format that blue. I'll try to capture that. Go.
Okay,
Okay. Then you guys direct me as I'm going down where the next one is, because I'm just going to keep going until I see blue.
okay, one thing, well, just what things that I wrote in my margins as we were going, and I think this is where kind of, we noticed it a lot. Sometimes ordinance is capitalized and sometimes it isn't. Anybody have any knowledge on why one way or the other? or which way it should be.
Yeah, but we should make it consistent.
Yes. So we didn't know which it should be.
Right.
Let me add in a note here. Ordinance should be capitalized or not. Figure.
Yeah.
out-
Yeah, like in the section in front above that
Yeah,
ordinance
exactly.
is small case. So
Right.
we just didn't know.
Good. We will figure out, which one is proper and make sure that we
We,
do the right one.
right, okay.
Good. Keep going. You let me know where the next one is, or I'll just find the blue.
Chapter 5.
Okay, all the way down to chapter 5. All right, we talked about the minority representation, right? So this doesn't
Yes.
apply to BOA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So cross out that exception of is BOA rather.
Yeah. Oops. Rejected the whole thing. Hold on for 1 second, folks. Sorry about that. Let's see.
Okay, stop right there.
Yep.
Of this charter, there was something in the newspaper. I don't know if it was a year or whatever, but I put pluses there because I didn't know what it meant. So
We're talking about under Board of Education.
yes,
Charter no more than 5 votes. Well, we were wondering whether we should add at least 5 affirmative votes shall be necessary to pass budgetary matters. So we didn't know if we needed to add that phrase to the Board of Education, or that doesn't pertain to this.
Yeah, probably doesn't pertain to this and probably is governed by state statute, right? Like the
Oh,
Board of Education
okay.
just has so many, same with planning and zoning, has so many things that are dictated by state statute. I don't think that's going to be necessary here.
Okay.
okay, well then that could just be a period there, right?
I believe so.
Okay,
Got it. Okay. Keep going down.
By 5.2, let's see, the numbers are 5.2.3, I think. Planning and Zoning Commission. Did we
Yeah.
get to, oh, okay.
Yep.
That one we had. I think it should be letter E.
E9.
Okay, yeah.
Good catch. Good catch. That's exactly what I was worried about, was that as we changed numbers and letters, they didn't flow through. So good catch.
Right, okay.
and then we're crossing out unable to participate. The second blue one.
The chair will say shall one of regular members to select an alternate in place of the member.
Oh, I didn't, okay.
The un should be out of there too.
Yeah, actually, we should change it this way. Who is unable to participate,
Okay,
right? Because we had said that. Just put a comment here to make sure because we had basically said that it's no longer if you can't attend the meeting, Board of Aldermen can make up rules for how you can participate. So it should just be, hey, if you're unable to participate for whatever reason, that's when you go to the alternates. So the sentence now reads, the chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission shall, when a regular member is unable to participate. Select an alternate in place of such member, unable to participate. Yeah, and we actually don't need that either.
No, we could cross that out.
Yeah.
Hey, Pete. Do you have clothes on?
Okay.
Well, no clothes.
All right, here we just inserting 60.
Right.
60, plural, yep, 60, good.
And I think names, we wondered if names should be plural in that 5.3.
The marriage may place names in nomination. Yeah, could be.
Name,
plural.
name,
Or we could put that in parentheses, name names. If it's one vacancy.
No, I think plural is fine. Plural
Okay.
captures it if it's singular or plural.
Okay,
I think that makes sense. Yep, to serve, someone shall have all the powers and duties. Yeah, don't need of, got it. All the powers, got rid of, yep.
what section are you in now?
Now I'm in section 537. So tell me.
Okay, I'm sorry, can you go back? You jumped a little bit. On Board of Zoning Appeals, do we need to write in, did you put appointed to, oh, you got the appointed to serve there in the blue.
Yeah.
Okay, and then do we need to indicate how these terms are staggered or like we specified before? Or is Board of Zoning Appeals always staggered term? And so it's step. You know how we indicated when we changed it to staggered terms, like how many would be voted this year, how many would be voted whatever year?
Yeah.
Do we need that in here or no? We were just questioning.
Good question. Yeah, probably should. Yeah, I'm gonna put language in here, indicate half of the board shall alternate every 2 years. All right, so half of them are expiring every 2 years. Make this change elsewhere as
Is there any reason why it was only 5?
well. This is so ZBA is one of those ones that is, I think, governed by state statutes. But I don't know. So I don't know why 5 is the short answer.
Okay. And then in the Conservation Commission, the same thing, appointed to serve.
Yep.
I think she wrote that, yeah.
Okay.
Dan, can you scroll to 531?
Yes, sir.
Parks and Rec.
Let's see. Where it says Chief of Staff in the Commission. I don't know if mine's different than what you have there. Under Parks and Rec, yeah. Okay, I think you have it written differently here. Commission shall operate and maintain.
12 members.
Okay, you've got it corrected. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, then back to Conservation Commission. Did we insert the in the proper place?
All the powers and duties. Yep.
Imposed on the concert. We thought imposed on the on the first line of page 18.
Got
Should
it.
there be a the in front there?
Yes.
Imposed on the, we thought on the conservation.
Mhm.
Okay. Then economic development appointed to serve again. Should be in there.
Appointed,
Appointed, it should be appointed to serve. Oh, you have appointed, okay.
okay, by mayor to serve.
Yeah, by the mayor should be off.
Okay.
And then also, did we get, oh, yeah, inland wetlands? Did you cross up? We thought it was a little redundant, second paragraph. The commission shall administer the inland wetlands regulations and shall have such duties and powers as are set forth in the Connecticut General Statutes of the state of Connecticut. Do we need of the state of Connecticut after we already have the Connecticut General Statute?
Good point.
Because I don't think we used of the state of Connecticut in any other,
Right.
whenever we reference the Connecticut General Statutes.
What is Connecticut? So there's a Department of Redundancy Department. So, no, good catch. Good catch.
Okay, and we inserted two, wait a minute, in the paragraph above, the first paragraph of inland wetlands, did we insert the number 2? The numeral 2 on the second line,
2 alternate.
2 alternates should be, yes, there.
Got it?
And then we're eliminating the Board of Aldermen section, correct? Appointed by the Board of Aldermen, we're eliminating that whole line.
Right.
By
Yes.
3,
That's right.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
Okay, and
So
then,
that has to change to 750,000, 100,000, right?
500,000.
Well,
what,
it went to 750.
Oh, okay. See, that wasn't on our copy here.
Right.
when do we decide that?
Oh,
Well, we were upping everything by a certain percent. We had a discussion about.
With the building
housing,
committee?
But it's whatever you guys want to
But
do.
we didn't know if that was only for the bonding or does this not
No,
Right.
that,
correlated with that?
no,
So what-
any item over 500,000 goes to the building committee.
Yeah, we didn't
They
talk
help.
about this one.
All right, so then we leave it at that,
I
then,
would
right?
leave it.
Okay, okay. And on the Board of Assessment Appeals, the paragraph above, and this one as well, are we leaving in appointed by the Board of Aldermen line?
Oh, no, we definitely should get rid of that.
Are we getting rid of that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, and we need to do it on Board of Assessment Appeals and Public Building Committee. I don't, it might have been, maybe just those 2 places. So 5.3.6 maybe? I don't know, the numbers are confusing. No, 5.3,
I got that one. And then what's the other one?
okay. Public Building Committee, the same thing. Appointed by the Board of Aldermen.
Yeah.
9 members should be to serve for an indefinite term.
Yeah.
9 members.
And is there going to be any resistance to that?
No.
It's not.
The elimination, making everything appointed by the mayor, approved by the Board of Aldermen? No.
Good.
No, at least not from nobody I've talked with.
Okay.
Okay,
So we're appointed by-
all right. Then the numbers are just off, I think from, that was 5.3.7, public building committees, and then,
Yeah. 5.3.8.
then they're redundant. Then it should be 5.3.8.
Yep. Should there be a sentence regarding terms? Yes, there should. We should put in here for 4 years staggered. So I'll put that in.
Yes, okay. And then we corrected the committee, the last sentence, because it referenced, those reference numbers were wrong.
Mhm.
Perfect. And then, yep, good catch on Public Employee Appeals Board, making that 4 years. Yep.
Mhm.
Standardizing it, good catch. Numbering. Appointed to serve in for the Board of Ethics. Yep. And get rid of by the Board of Aldermen.
Okay.
Hey, Dan, just for clarification, on the Board of Ethics,
Yes.
this again falls into the basket of mayoral appointments?
Yeah, everything has a, yeah, appointed by the mayor, approved by the Board of Aldermen.
Okay, right.
Okay. Yep, change administrative assistant to chief of staff. Yep. 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 All right, and here, guys, no, I don't think you need to do the information. This should not be the Information Technology Committee, right? This is talking about our IT director. And so this is, yeah, I don't think we need any of this here. I see you put in John Angles's original language.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the covered above. This section's on employees. So we do
Well,
not.
we had discussion about should we put in, since it's defining people in each of the areas, do we do that?
Yeah, so this is different, right? So the technology committee was really to establish the long-term strategy and manage any large capital projects. This is kind of like this is Dan's job, right? This is like maintaining the website, you know,
Right.
the actual IT infrastructure for the city. So I don't think we bring in the committee here. I think this is just, this was fine as it is.
Okay.
And did you guys, where's the next one you guys have? I'm just scrolling down.
And
I'm in chapter 7 now.
this, there's a few, keep going, there's pages.
I see an as, you know, get rid of this as here under section 7.3. Yep.
Are we back? I've been gone for a while on this. I froze out.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So I was just scrolling through. I'm now, I didn't see, I only
Oh,
see one
where
month.
are you? A section, we're up to section 7 already?
There was nothing in chapter 6 or there.
Okay, did you get on the Board of Ethics? We had staggered, we had a number of things. Did that all get taken care of?
Go back up.
I'm sorry. I was out. I was blank and kept just scrolling and scrolling.
No worries. So let's go
I
back
went
up.
out and came back in.
No worries.
Right.
So
5.3.10 and 11. So, okay. 10 appointed to serve got added in. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, and then 11, did we add, do we need to add for staggered terms consisting of 5 members appointed, let's see. The city shall have a board of ethics for consisting of 5 members appointed to serve for staggered terms of 4 years. Do we need to add all that in?
no,
Or
it's,
did that get added in?
the terms of the member shall be staggered in a manner that not more than 2 members' terms may expire in any year.
Okay,
So that already has staggering in it.
okay. All right, so that's where, that was the question. Okay, and then let's see what I had. Okay, I think that's it then.
Cool.
All right.
Then we had all the changes to chief of staff,
Staff, right. We didn't know what we were gonna use there.
correct? And then now we go into a long stretch where I don't see any blue. So stop me if you have any changes.
Uh,
3, 6, 4.
Well, does the information technology 6.4.5, does that have to,
No, we covered this while you were gone. Sorry.
oh, okay, yeah,
This is the IT director, not the IT committee. So we have the committee in the last section, section 5. This is actually Dan, right now, who's in this job.
so nothing has to coincide with that.
Yep. No.
Okay, right, no problem.
Okay, and scrolling down.
Okay, and then I think there's some spacing issues, but that, other than
Mhm.
that,
Then we'll deal with that at the end.
I have a question.
Yeah.
615 city constables. I know that used to be the sheriff. I thought they were a marshal.
I don't know.
Could be wrong.
They were constables in the 2012 edition.
Because by state statute, that's what they were called. So I don't know if they changed back to marshals.
Okay, so we gotta just check on that.
Yeah. Because state was using constables, so I don't know if they changed it back to marshals.
Okay.
State statute to see if they'll call constables or are. Okay. All right. Now in chapter 7. We have under 7.3, just crossing out the word as.
let's see. Three. We did have a question, in 610, 611, 612, 613. Is there any reason why there isn't more written on these 4 like it was on all the other ones? You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's just a paragraph where the other ones have sections and 6 point, there's no powers and duties and all that with any of these? What, I mean, these are all added, what we've added, correct? Or do we just move them, or?
Yeah, so, all right, so, let me react. You just said something very substantive, so I'm reacting to it.
Yeah, okay.
So, yes, these were all ones that previously were done by their boards, right? So inland wetlands, parks and rec, planning and zoning, all appointed their own directors. And we moved them here. Oops, sorry. We moved them here. Give me 1 second. All right. So we moved them here. The question is, should we have powers and duties?
Like all the other sections in this chapter.
So the answer is, it's a good question. I'm hesitating because I'm not qualified to write that.
Okay. And as I am not either.
Me either.
Should we write roles and responsibilities? So I'm gonna take that as an open question, Ruth Ann, and I'm not gonna hold up anything for it.
Okay, and
We won't.
that's fine, but I didn't know if we needed, we just didn't know if we needed something more there. That's all.
Yeah, but like the other section. So there is this
Yes.
question of legally, do we need to? That answer I'm pretty sure is no. Should
Okay,
we have consistency? Maybe we should, right? Like just
Yes.
spell it out a little more. So let
I
me.
think it's because that started last time because each planning and zoning and inland, their administrator doesn't do the same thing as anybody else's. They are land use boards and they're run by the state. So their administrator is running by the state, not by the city.
Oh,
That
okay.
was what the
Okay.
answers were back then. And just to go back to constable, 7.88 of general state statute says constable, not
Yeah.
marshal.
Inland wetlands is statutory as well, isn't it, Sophia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are, it's all regulated by the state.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So anything else in chapter 6?
I don't think so.
No.
All right, in chapter 7.
I think on 7.14,
I got it.
we just added or down at the bottom. It looks like it'd been crossed off twice.
Under
Uh,
A,
A4.
so, or by the Board of Proportion Checks. Ah, got it, yep.
It
So,
looked like or was crossed off
yeah, we just
twice instead of once. Yeah.
need-
And I got a question on 7.2. You
Okay.
get that?
So there's 7.2. Okay.
You got the mayor shall submit the budget to the alderman April 22nd.
Yep.
What if that falls on a Saturday or Sunday? Should you pick a third or fourth?
Not later than,
Not
so
late?
they can do it before then.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else in 7.2? 7.3 and 7.4 are eliminated, okay. Then we just, you crossed off as here. The Board of Aldermen shall publish, I feel like you do need an as there.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't do that. I didn't have that on my version. Okay.
The Board of Aldermen shall publish. Yeah, I think you need as there too.
As a notice. Okay.
Stop me as I'm going through them at 7.6. I'm not seeing it in blue.
On subsequent appropriations, that 2%, let's see, 7.7 C, does that stay at 2%?
Let's read it. So this is on additional appropriations after the budget is done. So this section says if unappropriated general fund resources are not available and an occasion arises where additional monies are needed to fund necessary general government operations, the Board of Aldermen on its own initiative or upon recommendation of the mayor and by a vote of at least 3/4 of the full membership may make an appropriation or appropriations for such purposes, provided that the total amount of such appropriation in any one fiscal year shall not exceed blank. Right, so this is basically saying, hey, if you don't have the budget and you don't have, if I'm reading this right, you need to fund general government operations above and beyond the budget. You can do that by a vote of 3/4 of the full membership. So you need 6 votes and
Okay.
the total won't exceed 2%. So this is not the bonding thing.
Okay, all right, I didn't think so, but we questioned it. So 2% should stay there then, right?
Unless people want to change it again, right? This is a
Oh.
different thing, that, you know.
I thought, we were going to keep it as consistent as we can. So I had 2, then Ruth Ann and I talked and we said 3. So I leave it
Well,
up
we
to you
didn't know
guys.
if with just like why we increased the other one, everything's going up in price and this and that. We just didn't know if we needed to increase that percentage, but that's up for discussion. I'm good with whatever everybody else decides.
Me too.
What do folks think about that?
Where's the bonding language?
This, yeah, this is not the bonding language. The bonding,
Well, where is it?
bonding language is, oops. Authority, purchases and bidding. Where is bonding? Borrowing. It's down here under section 7.
Right, 1, yeah.
So that's where we made the change on bonding. This up here is making additional appropriations above and beyond the budget. Oops, went too far. So there's the argument here is there's an argument for consistency, and then there's an argument for nobody ever mentioned this as an issue.
Right, right.
Right.
Yeah, we're bringing
We
it
were
up.
just, we were taking a stab at it.
It was 2% before,
It was.
It was.
and it's 2% of the municipal budget, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you guys want, I could keep this as an open-ended question and ask John if this is something that they've ever run into. My guess is they have not, just knowing the history here. I don't think they've had to do this, but I can certainly ask him.
Okay.
I'm not hearing people passionate one way or the other.
I would-
No, but can you go back to where we were, where you referenced the bonding? Because I thought I saw something that we should insert like a numeral or the number. As you were flipping through, I just quickly.
Yep.
That additional 1%, should we write there 1% and then have it? Yeah. Just to be consistent.
Absolutely.
Sure, that's consistent.
Okay.
Okay. So on the one up here, then, I'm going to ask John, unless anybody feels passionately about it one way or the other. I'm going to insert new comment, check with John Angles if this.
If needs to be increased, yeah.
I think coupled with a lot of the measures we've taken, because I don't think we discussed this, did we?
No,
Okay.
No,
I think coupled with a lot of the measures we taken, which affords tremendous flexibility,
yep,
I think we probably want to stay pat at this point, and not, not create too much discretion, because I think we have,
I mean,
they'll keep it status quo is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would leave it alone.
I'm comfortable with that as well, Don.
Okay.
Only because, nobody, there's the also, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Nobody brought this up, right? And so, and just from my knowledge of it, I don't think the aldermen have ever run up against this cap. So,
All right, we're fine. We just questioned
Mhm.
whether it should be. No
Yeah.
problem.
Right.
gotcha. All right, we have some section number changes here in 7-8. Good catches.
On 7.5, I think procedure, go back.
Going
Did we cross out of? I'm not sure if we crossed off of. Yeah, of, I think procedure upon failure of should be put back in.
Yeah, and this and should be taken out. You're right.
Yeah,
Yep. Take out the
of
and.
the Board of Aldermen to adopt the budget, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and then in 7 point, what is that, 10? We need to change all those.
7.10. The budget making authority.
No, financial procedures. Is that 10 or 7.8 maybe? I'm sorry. 7.8, yeah, it was 10.
Yep, and change all these numbers. Yep,
Yeah,
good.
okay. And then all the section changes as we go down further.
Yep, can you hold on 1 second, guys?
Oh, sure.
Has anybody else lost the text portion?
I lost voice, but it came back just now.
Yeah, I lost the text.
Oh, I didn't lose anything. I just saw Dan walking around.
Sorry, guys. Just having some technical difficulties. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So, where were we? All right, so we're in section 7.8. Anything else in 7.8?
7, financial procedures, I don't think so.
No.
Consider. Then that's got to be changed to 7.9.
7.10, yep. 7.11, yep, just renumbering. Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
7.12. And then, well, the spacing on bidding, should that, I think the paragraph, it should be moved over to be consistent. Well, Sophia, will you take care of that
She said she would,
on all those? Yeah,
yes, when she does the final, it'll justify.
okay.
Okay. Then, and anything else in 7.12?
Let's see, where are we here? I think that, under professional services, we
Yep.
got the 7.12 right
Yep.
there. Yeah,
Oh.
okay. And then, well, D waiver of bids, that should be changed. See where it's at? It should be like separate. It's in that paragraph. It should have its own line. I don't know if you can do
Right.
that or she'll do that, but that needs to have its own line, like C above. Like C professional services above.
I mean, I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Okay, C here, there's C and then it says professional services.
Uh-huh.
All right, then go down to D. See how waiver of bids, see how the space, it should have its own little line and then the
It's a-
paragraph should start
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a subtitle.
a subtitle.
Then
Thank
click
you.
down. Mhm.
All right. Actually, vice versa, actually. I actually think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Format. Yeah, whatever. We'll format it later.
Well,
Yeah.
B bidding. I mean, A and B were separate subtitle lines, so we just thought
Mhm.
D should be that way too, waiver of bids. But if you want to do them all, one way or the other,
Wait, yeah, here, give me a second.
yeah.
Sorry, you guys will hear annoyance in my voice. I'm not annoyed with you. I'm bad at this and I hate it. So let me see, where were we? We were.
All right, 7.12.
7.12 is where we were.
So, yeah. So if the first one is A, there is actually there's no subtitle. It's just A, the purchasing agent, but then B, bidding is a subtitle. C, professional services is a subtitle. D,
Yeah,
waiver
but
of
B,
bid.
but B,
So-
where number one is that's the right way to space it because it has a 1-2. A doesn't have 1-2. A is just a paragraph.
Okay, okay.
It's
So A
actually-
is a,
it's
so
actually-
what about D? Is that why D is? Because it's just a paragraph?
It's just a paragraph. They don't
Okay.
have one, they don't have a
And
number,
two,
so
and
they don't
that's
have
why
a
they do it.
subtitle
Okay.
number underneath the subtitle.
All right, gotcha.
The one
Okay,
that's wrong is C, right? So C shouldn't have this dangler hanging out there. It should be right after
That
professional.
should be to the left under professional services.
So
yes.
I'm just not gonna fix that one right now.
Okay.
All right, then, yeah, it's 13, 14, petty cash borrowing, those numbers needed changing.
No,
Compensation,
my apologies. I gotta put you on hold for another second.
okay.
Okay. So where are we now? 715?
Mhm.
Yeah, compensation, 715.
Okay, so renumbering. 716.
Right.
Chief of Staff again.
Yep.
Big space under implementation, which I don't know why. Well,
Transition. Oh, interesting. So they actually had, okay.
Elected office, yeah, is it 30 or is it 45? It had-
right.
At the numeral 45, so we didn't know which it should be.
Yeah, so this is up to us. This is basically saying that, hey, like, for example, hey, when this goes into effect, we're gonna add another member on planning and zoning, right? So as we add another member on planning and zoning, how does it get filled,
Oh, okay.
right? So any vacancy in an elected office shall be filled in the next general city election, right? But if there's no applicable law or charter provision, the vacancy shall be filled 45 days by the remaining member of the same political party on the board, commission, or other body.
Well, we lost you,
Oh,
or I did anyways.
I did too.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's make this 45, just to be consistent, give more time out of the fill.
Okay, so we got to change to 30 to 45, yeah.
Right, in two places.
Yep. Okay. Great, and that looks like it.
Okay, and then do we need to have, if approved at the November, we just put the election year, not the date? We didn't know if we needed a specific date, like the November 3rd, 2020 election. Do we need
Don't know if we need
just a
it.
November election? I
Yeah,
didn't know.
we could put it in there. I don't know if we need it necessarily.
Okay, well, I didn't know either. I was questioning.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for going through this with a fine tooth comb. That was super, super helpful. Lots of good catches there. And so I will, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to look these over one more time. And then what I'm going to do, Sophia, is I'm going to send over to you and to Dan the strike through copy and the clean copy that we can post on the website. And
Okay.
obviously anybody who wants it can view it.
Are you available at all tomorrow just to go through the agenda for the public hearing? I'm in the office tomorrow, so,
Well, so I actually wanted to talk about that right now with it.
okay.
So let's flip over to this. I sent this out today. So basically, here's what I'm thinking. So we next Wednesday are going to have two public hearings, one live and one here on Zoom. And doing that because A, if people want to testify live, they should be able to. If people don't feel comfortable coming out yet, we're still going to give them a chance to have their say. And so, and there's a third way people can submit testimony, which is written material, either to our email address or giving it to the town clerk. And we'll make sure everybody gets copies of those for people who can't make either. And so basically I put together the rules for each of them. And for the live hearing, it's basically the exact same rules as last time. Everybody can address for 5 minutes each. And they'll basically sign up with the clerk at the beginning of the meeting. And then we can ask questions if we want to. And it's got to pertain to the charter. People can't get up there and start talking about, the the response to the coronavirus or something. And then the one I did add in though is that coronavirus protocols will be followed by all participants, including social distancing and the wearing of face masks. So I want to make sure you're all comfortable with that.
Right.
So that's the easier one of the two. The one that's more unique is, so for the Zoom meeting, Sophia, what I was going to say is, and we can post these rules if everyone's okay with them so people understand them. So the rules for the Zoom hearing is members of the public will sign up with you, Sophia, in the town clerk's office. And
Okay, I have an issue with that because I'm only there 2 days a week.
Okay.
So unfortunately, and they're only there. So the only thing that I would say is if I could put down the charter email, because I can go on that every day.
Yep.
I guarantee that I can get the people. If I'm not there tomorrow, like if I'm not there Wednesday and I don't go back till Monday, there's not a guarantee that who's ever in the office is gonna forward me the email.
Yep.
And I don't want somebody to say, I went there, I gave it, and you don't have it.
Yep. This is perfect. So we basically say, each member of the public shall sign up with the town clerk or let's say, each member of the public may sign up with the town clerk or by emailing the charter clerk at sheltoncharter2020@gmail.com, submitting their name and email address.
Yeah, I would just take out town clerk completely because like I said, if I'm not there, I'm not gonna get it.
Okay.
And Marge isn't there every day, so it's like I can't guarantee that I'm gonna get the information if I'm not there.
So they should sign up just via email.
Via
the charter
email through that
Okay.
Shelton charter, the way that they were doing previously, because it guarantees that we're gonna answer the email.
Got it. Great. But then what'll happen is, so you'll have the list of names besides us, and then basically the day of the event, send out the link to everybody who signed up, and they can join.
Mhm.
And then the only change to the rules then is members of the public who are not speaking shall remain on mute. So I, as the host of the meeting, can put people on mute. So basically, if they're not talking, then we just put them on mute until it's their turn to talk.
Okay.
And then everything else the same. We can ask questions if we like.
So nobody has an issue if I post this, I'll fix it with get the town clerk off, but if I include this in the agenda, so for the public hearing,
Yes.
okay,
Then I can just email you the revised version.
okay.
Any other rules or anything else that folks want to have for the public hearings?
Do you want to have some strike throughs available for the public or no?
Like
You
where?
mean at the live meeting?
At the live meeting?
I'd ask you, Sophia, is that something that was like, did people use that last time?
It's hard because the last time every meeting, every change was posted so that they were aware of all the changes every week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different because now we're on Zoom, people could actually see it. They weren't able to because it was a taped meeting, so.
I think my assumption is that if somebody hasn't, nobody's going to show up at the meeting and be like, oh, let me look at what the changes are and then let me talk about it.
No, they don't want to print it themselves, that's why. So I'm just saying, if we're gonna have it available online, I have no problem saying everything's there.
I would agree. I'd say
Okay.
everything's online.
Are you going to print them for us?
Yes.
Or you will? Okay, you'll print each a new version and a strike through version? Will we have both or just one?
If Dan sends me everything, I can do it at work and it'll be a strike through in a color and then it'll be a clean version.
Version, okay. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, me too.
All
Ruth
right.
and I will look through the other person. We have a schedule now.
Exactly. All right, good. Then I will entertain a motion to adopt these rules for the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Delissa, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
By Gary, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right. Cool. So I'll have this over to you right after the meeting, Sophia. And then last but not least, guys, is just kind of where we go after the public hearings. So I am also going to be submitting a copy of this to Corporation Counsel, who's going to also review it in parallel with the public hearing. And basically, I've asked him 2 weeks from now to get back to us. So in 2 weeks, we will have feedback from the public hearings, feedback from Corporation Counsel. And what I'm proposing is we do one more workshop like this to incorporate any feedback that we want from the public or from Corporation Counsel. If we get a ton, we may need more than one workshop, but I don't think it'll be that much. Famous last words, but we'll see. And then after that, we'll do a formal meeting, right? So everything we've done up till now has been workshops. The formal meeting will be, Robert's rules. We will have a motion to approve these, to move them on to the Board of Aldermen. And any debate that people have, people can offer amendments. I don't think there will be, given we've done everything by consensus, but that will conclude our formal role between now and November. I will likely be invited to the Board of Aldermen to give a presentation, which I would welcome all of you to come to. And then it really is up to the aldermen to either approve it and send it on to referendum in November, or if they have any changes to it, it bounces back to us. So that's something that, we may be recalled if they have other changes that they don't like. We may have to come back, and there's a process for that. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Dan, do you foresee those 2 meetings, or the workshop and the formal meeting, as being done on Zoom?
So I think I think the workshop can be done on Zoom. The formal meeting, and it's just a personal preference to do it live, just because it is the accumulation of all of our work. But if people aren't comfortable with that, we can do that on Zoom as well. Let's make that call, Dave, after we see how the public hearing goes.
Good for me, yeah.
Okay.
Just one question. So we're not meeting Monday the 15th. We're going just for the public hearing on the 17th.
Yes, the public hearing on the 17th.
Okay.
I would propose, gang, that we meet tentatively, because I got to make sure I have the stuff back from Corporation Counsel. But let's plan right now on meeting 2 Mondays from now on the 22nd.
Okay. Workshop?
Workshop. And that'll be to review both the items from public hearing and the feedback from Corporation Counsel.
And Dan, what time's the Zoom meeting? That's on the 17th also, right? We're
Yeah,
gonna
that's the 17th at 7 o'clock. That's right.
7 o'clock. So we got 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock.
1 o'clock and 7 o'clock on the 17th. That's right.
Do we need to come earlier than 1 o'clock? I mean, like,
You
do
can come at
we don't need to meet beforehand.
12:30. You
do
can
we?
come at 12:30, but P&Z is in there till 12:30.
Yeah,
Okay,
but we don't need to do anything ahead of time, Ruth Ann.
we don't. Okay.
Yeah, we're literally there to listen. And so, I don't think there's anything necessary.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Well, guys, we are coming up to the end, and it's feeling good. I'm very interested to see the public's reaction to this.
Me too.
And we will see if it's a lot or a little. Anybody have anything else before we move forward? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Charlie says so moved.
Motion by Darlissa, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ruth Ann, all those in favor?
Right?
Aye.
All right, gang, we're adjourned. We'll see you live face-to-face next Wednesday. Bring your masks.
Yeah. Okay. Take care,
Take
everyone.
care.
Ready?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.